Well, afternoon, folks. Welcome back to Threes In. When I was assigned to Headquarters Air Training Command Flight Safety, we maintained an IP status. It was an IP status to more or less fly with senior officers than anything else. We weren't assigned student flying. But by and large, most of our flying was between us. The T-38 guys flew with the T-38 guys, and the T-37, the tweak guys, flew with each other. Right after I got to flight safety at Randolph in November 1978, we were standing around one afternoon, and my boss mentioned that they were going to be wanting or needing another T-37 guy there, and I went, okay, Mikey. Mikey worked for me up at Vance Air Force Base. So I went to Jerry and I said, hey, Jerry, I said, how about giving Mikey a consideration? I said, he's really a great guy. He's a great safety guy. He's a great investigator, and yada, yada, yada. And so Jerry took a look at him and eventually hired him. Well, I am so glad he did. Mikey was my saving grace down there. A lot of those guys didn't particularly care to fly as much as I did. And although I was a 38 guy, I was going to be flying with a lot of them. It was just great to have Mikey in the crowd. Anyway, Mikey gets saddled with this guy. I'm going to call him this guy. So he gets saddled with this guy to fly with. The guy was a major. We were both captains at the time. He was about 2-3 years senior to me at the time. Anyway, the guy was he was all right, I suppose. He wasn't going to set the world on fire, but he did okay, I guess. Anyway, Mikey and this guy go out flying, and when they come back to the pattern, they bet each other for beers. Well, this guy could never win a beer from Mikey. He'd come in, and he'd take the airplane, bring it into the flare point, start the flare, and just hold it off. Everything was looking good, and then he'd just dump and slam into the runway. And he got so exasperated, time after time again, that happened. And one day he comes back into our office room, and he says, I don't know what it is with you, Gregerson. He says, I just can't seem to land with you. He says, my landings with the other guys are fine. But he says, every time I'm flying with you, he says, for some reason or another, I dump it in. Well, what he didn't know was when he got into the flare, he's looking down the runway to gauge his distance, how high he is and so forth. And Mikey reached down and raised the flaps. He was only maybe a foot or two off the ground, but when Mikey raised the flaps, the airplane lost all that lift and just dropped in. And Mikey did it time after time. Didn't matter whether he was flying from the left seat or the right seat. And this guy never figured it out in the year and a half, 2 years he flew with Mike. I had a chance to fly with this guy once. There was a tweet accident up at Vance. And so he was the command advisor for the safety board. So Jerry asked me if I wouldn't mind taking him up there. Take him up, drop him off, and fly back solo. Well, hell yes, I'll do that. So anyway, we get our chutes and so forth and meet down in the 38 Squadron. They had an airplane for us. And I began briefing this guy. And I said, all right. I said, I'm going to be in the front. And I said, if we happen to take a bird on takeoff, I said, I've got your radios all set up in the back to the RSU controller. So all you have to do is just take control of the radios, which you could do. And once you do that, tell them the nature of if I'm incapacitated, tell them the nature of the emergency and pull it around to a box pattern, if you will, downwind and then crosswind and base and come on in for a straight in landing. I said, they'll probably have you burn off from some fuel maybe. I don't know. We'll see. And I said, they can talk you down. You'll be fine. Well, I give him a really good briefing. And when I get done, I said, got to have any questions? I could tell he was a little bit nervous. He said, well, Bob, he says, I don't think I can land a 38 from the back seat. He says, I'd feel more comfortable just jumping out. And I said, oh, just command my body to the dirt and let her fly, huh? He said, more or less, that's kind of it. No wonder Mike raised the flaps on him. Anyway, that was my experience with this guy. So we'll just leave it at that. Thanks for stopping by.